Okay, so here's part 2 of me reading Beauty and the Beast. At noon, she found dinner served, and she ate and heard the sweetest music, though she saw no one. That evening, Beauty was sitting down to supper at the table when she heard a shuffle of great shaggy paws, and she could not help trembling with fear. Beauty, growled the Beast, standing up pleadingly on his legs. Will you give me the pleasure of seeing you sup? That is as you wish, answered Beauty. Tell me, Beauty, asked the Beast, do you think I'm very, very ugly? Yes, Beast, said Beauty. I cannot lie, but I think you are very good. Beauty ate with an excellent appetite, and the Beast was so humble and polite she nearly got the better of her fear of him when he asked, Beauty, will you marry me? She was afraid of making the monster angry if she refused, but said bravely, No, Beast. The Beast sighed so deeply that he shook the palace and sadly said, Good night, Beauty. Then he left her, and Beauty began to feel sorry for him. Alas, she said, what a pity he is so frightful, since he is so good. Beauty lived 3 months in the palace very contentedly. The Beast visited her every evening. Beauty grew used to his ugliness, and every evening she saw more clearly how good he was. But there was one thing that made her unhappy. Every evening before she left, the Beast asked her to marry him, and every evening she said no. His sighs made the palace rock as if it were high wind. At last, one night, the Beast said to her, If you will not marry me, at least promise me, Beauty, that you will never leave me. Now, Beauty that very day had seen in her looking-glass that her father had fallen sick of grief. So she said, I would willingly promise never to leave you, but I shall die if I cannot go and see my dear father. He is ill and poor. My sisters have found the chest of gold you gave my father, have divided it for dowries, and are married. My brothers are away in the army. He is alone. Oh, please, good Beast, do not refuse me. I would rather die myself, dear Beauty, replied the Beast, than to make you unhappy. You may go to your father, and your poor Beast shall die of grief. No, said Beauty, weeping, I will never cause your death. I promised to come back in a week. You will find yourself with your father tomorrow morning, answered the Beast. But remember, when you wish to come back, just put this ring on the table when you go to bed. Goodbye, dear Beauty. When Beauty awoke in the morning, she found herself at home in her father's cottage. Her father was so happy to see Beauty that he almost died of joy. He sent word of her return to the sisters, who came hurrying over with their husbands. To pay her a visit. The husband of the eldest sister was extremely handsome. He was so vain of his good looks that he thought of nothing else from morning till night. The second sister had married a very clever man, but the only use he made of his cleverness was to torment his friends and his wife. The two sisters were more jealous than ever when they saw Beauty dressed like a princess and looking so very beautiful. They had made a plan to end her happiness. Let us, said the elder sister, try to keep her here after her week's leave is over, and the Beast will surely be so angry that he will eat her up in a moment. So when the week was ended, the two sisters began to tear their hair and shed many tears as the thought of Beauty's leaving them, that she consented to stay a few days longer. But she could not help feeling sorry for the poor Beast, who was being made so unhappy. The 10th night that Beauty was in her father's home, she dreamt she was strolling in the garden of the palace. On the grass lay the Beast, almost dead. Beauty awoke and burst into tears. How wicked I am, she said. to be so ungrateful to my kind Beast." She laid her ring on the table and soon fell asleep again. In the morning she found herself in the Beast's palace. All day she wished for the supper hour, and that the Beast might come. She had never passed so long a day. At length of the clock struck 7, but no Beast came. Beauty ran from the room to room of the palace calling him, but no one answered. At last she remembered her dream and ran toward the grass plot on which she had dreamed she saw. There lay the poor Beast on the grass. Beauty threw herself on the shaggy body, finding that his heart was still beating. She ran quickly for the water and threw it on his face. The Beast quickly opened his eyes and said, "You forgot your promise to me, dear Beauty, and my grief was so great that I tried to starve myself to death. Now, Beauty, I shall die happy, for I have seen you once more." "No, dear Beast," cried Beauty, "you shall not die. You must live to be my husband. I thought I felt my only gratitude, but now I know I love you." As soon as Beauty had said these words, the palace and the garden suddenly blazed with light. Music sounded, fireworks shone. Beauty turned to look at her dear Beast, but suddenly no Beast to be seen in the garden. Instead, the very handsomest prince that was ever seen knelt at Beauty's feet and thanked her for having broken his enchantment. "But where is my dear Beast?" asked Beauty. "You see him, Beauty, at your feet," answered the prince. "A wicked fairy had given me the form of a beast and declared that I must keep it until a beautiful girl should love me and consent to marry me." Beauty went with the prince to the palace, where, to their delight, she found her dear father and all her family. Together, the happy company traveled to the young prince's dominions, and there the prince was received with great joy by his subjects, who had mourned him a lost. The prince married Beauty, and together they reigned happily for a long, long time. Okay, so that was me reading Beauty and the Beast. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!